The Spex backrest from Medifab is a complete backrest solution which we can adapt to pretty much any wheelchair. The Spex backrest essentially is a contourable and mouldable system for users with complex needs. Some of the clinical applications for the Spex backrest include users with lordosis, scoliosis, and other spinal asymmetries, whereby you're trying to contour the shape to suit the user. Having said that, the Spex backrest is not just for asymmetries. It's also a very, very comfortable backrest for users with pain, users with potentially degenerative cases, clients with that just need that area of comfort and stability for their back when they're in the wheelchair. Take spinal injured, people that have issues with going into a lot of tilt, putting a lot of weight through the backrest. The Spex backrest is essentially a nice broad area to alleviate pain and provide comfort, not to undermine positioning that you need to put in place for some of these users. The Spex backrest has had an interesting journey. The Spex backrest was developed to reduce the pain and frustration out of complex wheelchair seating. Traditionally, moulds were poured around clients in their wheelchair and foam was cut, and it was difficult to stick everything in place and get someone supported in their wheelchair. So with Spex, we've overcome that pain with a simple solution where we can adapt foam within a lycra pocket to meet those contouring situations. What clinicians and therapists around the world really love about the Spex backrest is the ability to change contouring for those with changing needs. Just take, for example, a scoliosis and how that might deteriorate. Or the user may have a scoliosis and then we might put some spinal rodding in. Needs have changed. The back support can change with the client. So you don't have to keep purchasing or changing the wheelchair backrest. So what we've got here is a backrest for Sally, and Sally has potentially some spinal protrusion and needs some extra support at the sides. So we've built that in to the backrest. This is the inner of the Spex backrest. The front section has high resilient foam coupled with pressure relieving foam. So the front surface that is against the client is very comfortable and absorbs any bony prominences within the backrest. Around the back is where the fun starts. We can now adjust the position of these pockets to suit different contours for the user. So this is the rear part of the backrest where we can change all the pockets and the positioning. In the centre here, we've got the spine area. So we've got a protruding spine. We essentially can remove the pads where the spine is protruding. Okay. If we need to remove the whole area down through to the pelvis, again we can remove that area. So wherever there's pressure and something protruding, we essentially can remove. If we need to build up where we need to have more support, maybe in the trunk area more laterally, we can do so at the sides here. Simply like that. Now, with the cubes here, as you see them, sometimes you get these little steps. And a real nice little trick to overcome that is essentially we can just remove them to start with, fold them over in half, tuck a half in, and then lock it down with another one over top. We've now created a nice ramp down to nothing. If our user has more of a curved scoliosis, we essentially may want to take an edge off where it might be pressing in with this edge here. So with that, we can take these out. We can fold the pad over diagonally. So it's now on a diagonal, and then again, we essentially lock that pad down with another pad, so we've now removed that edge where potentially it might have been pressing into the user. Okay, stop there. Another unique benefit about the Spex backrest is its ability to change the padding even while someone is sitting in the chair. How that happens, essentially you can lean the person forward a little bit, have them supported from the front, unzip the cover, and then while they're still sitting in the chair, you remove the padding, slide it out, and then we tuck down a pillow or some other support. While we change the padding, we can then have the user staying in the chair. The person doesn't have to transfer, and then we slide the padding back in once we've done a few changes. This eliminates the need for doing constant changes and transfers during an appointment or assessment. What makes up a Spex backrest are some unique materials. Starting from at the back, we've got a very strong aluminium shell with perforation holes to mount different accessories, and of course gives breathability. With them we've got a very good hardware system, so the backrest can mount in and out very easily. The foam padding inside is of course part of the secret weapon to ensure a lot of comfort for the user. Then we've got the covering outside, and it's got space and mesh materials and a dual fabric front that helps with anti-shear for the user. The Spex backrest from Medifab can come in a wide range of sizes and shapes. We also have a full custom built range whereby you can specify the height, you can specify the width, and you can specify shape. The beauty of the Spex backrest is that we can provide a complete solution that's changeable over the course of its life.